This is a 2011 Dodge Cummins turbo diesel 3500 Laramie. You will need a marker, it can be chalk, a breaker bar for breaking the bolts loose, a ratchet wrench with a 15mm socket, and it's easier with an extension, a chisel or a breaker bar. In this case, this hammer works because it has a straight claw. You're going to want a sledgehammer, a nice sledgehammer to break that bearing loose, and then an 1.5 inch pipe. This can be PVC. Some rags to keep the parts clean when you're reassembling, some grease to put on the spleen, and then also your new parts. I am also replacing the the boot on here, so I needed a crimper tool. I am also replacing the dust shield on the back end of my torque converter. And if you're doing that, that's why I have a screwdriver to try and bash that off. You can see, yeah, this is porked. This is a 2-piece drive shaft, so you got to take it off sort of in two sections. Make my way to the back of the truck here. Get yourself a 15mm socket, and we're gonna pull these 4 bolts. This one's already partially pulled because I started this project and before I started filming. Get yourself a marker and mark it somewhere just so you know how to line it back up. This is not a square bolt pattern. Now I've heard that, or I've seen videos where these are rusted on and they kind of had to use a hammer to knock this off, to knock it loose, but this one just falls right off. From here you can just pull this thing right off and it slips out just like that. And now we will pull this bolt and that bolt and it will let this fall off, and then the front will pull out the same as this did. I loosened these already, so yours will probably be much tighter. Now, you're just gonna pull this out nice and easy, just like that. All right, so this is kind of the more difficult part, getting this carrier bearing off the shaft. If you're a do-it-yourselfer like I am, you probably don't have a bearing puller. It's a tool that can wrap around this thing and just pull it right off. There's 2 options that I'm aware of. One, you can use a right angle grinder with a cutoff wheel and just cut right through this, but you just got to be real careful that you don't nick your shaft. What I'm gonna try is the second option, and that is you're gonna get yourself something with a straight sort of claw. It can be a pry bar. In this case, I just have this hammer. We're gonna put that claw right down in there, and then we're gonna pound it like this, bonk, and we're just gonna work our way around it in like 3 different spots, knocking it down slowly, and hopefully that'll just pull that bearing right off the shaft. Pull this rubber off so I can actually see what's going on. Means we're making progress. Boom. Just like that. About 20 minutes of beating your beating your rod. Then here we are. A little bit of mungage on there, but it don't look too bad. Now it's time to put the new carrier bearing on.
See? Oh. Why is it purple?
This is just a little bit of lube.
Baby jumping spider.
We have this collar to put on as well. Boom. Just like that. And that's it. We got the keeper ring on there, or the boot ring is what I'm calling it. It's all the way seated on. It looks good. All right, so now I'm going to replace this dust shield. I imagine you can just break this off somehow. Yep, just like that. Pull that off of there. I'm going to clean this off while it's open. So I'll slide that on. Make sure it goes all the way. Same depth as the old one was, which is right there. And looks like it's seated nicely. Tighten that down. Don't want to over tighten it again, like I said, but that seems nice right there. I'm going to replace the dust shield on the end of my torque converter, so that's what we'll do next. I've never taken one of these off, but I'm just going to assume you bash right here. There's one of these notches on each side. Knock this out. Again, that might require a little more juice. Ooh, juice than I was thinking. Boy, that's not it. Thanks, last word. I don't know. That seems to be working. Let's spin it. Oh no. So yeah, I'm just kind of working my way around it, wedging the screwdriver in there. And maybe I'll try the screwdriver next time. Oh yeah, it's starting to move now. You got a gap filling up. Yes, sir. Start to move. Go up with it. Oh yeah. It's wiggling now. Try to wiggle this off side to side. Ooh. Okay, please don't drain all your oil. Nice. Hey, let's go. Okay, now we just got to get the other one in there. My instinct tells me that it's a little bit like changing a oil filter. So you want to lube up the rubber parts just so it's less likely to rip and catch, basically. There's a drain hole right here in the bottom of your dust boot. You want to just put that pointing down. I think that's the only instruction that it gave. Start by bopping it here, bopping it there. There we go. Feel that in the bottom. Yeah. It's got a nice seal all the way around it. We got the drive shaft, the first piece right here on a block to keep this end out of the dirt while we work on that end. Make sure it's clean. Put a little bit of grease on this boy. Just gonna squeeze some in there and then spread it around with my fingers. Put a little more on it maybe. It's hard to get too much grease, really. There's usually a key on one of these gears that makes it so you can only put it on one way. but I'm not seeing that on this end. So I think you can just put it up there and turn it until it, put up this and turn it until it slides in. Ooh, ooh, baby, go crazy. Oh. Yes. All right, now we're at the other end. I like to use my knees to hold this up, like so. Then you can just pull it back to where the bolts line up just right. And then I don't know how many foot-pounds they're supposed to be torqued to or anything, but just try to remember how tight they were when you took them off. And just try to match that. Then let's put some grease on that bad boy. I have the truck in neutral. I should be able to spin this. Make sure I got it all the way around. And on this end, you can see it's like a missing tooth almost. Right there on the top, right here. And then there's one on the bottom too, right there. You have to line one of those up with this weld right here. That's about how it goes. No. Oh, there it is. I'd say I'm gonna attach the other end before I hook this on. So I've got my mark right here. You can spin this thing around till my other mark lines up. About right there. Just like that. Get a top one started. Okay, that's started now, so it's not gonna fall. So I use that marker to mark this here. It's not a big deal, it's just that, I mean, it won't even go together unless it's lined up right, but that just helps you. Okay, there we go. Yes, that's good. So these are pretty tight. Not tight like lug nuts, but pretty dang close. Okay, now come back over here and let's tighten this up. The boot's gonna have to go on pretty far to grab that little flange. Okay. All right, and then grab your little hoof trimmer looking pliers. These ones are kind of big. So I have to smash this down so I can. Okay, sweet. Got it. Make sure we don't pinch a hole in that bitch. Okay. I think that's it, guys. Make sure this boot is slid far enough on. You kind of have to overlap it, that your clamp grabs the flange. And then that's it, baby. Easy peasy. And now for the best part, taking your truck for a rip.